Alright guys, so today we're talking about getting some mobility in the fascial systems and the musculoskeletal systems in and around the sides of our ribs, right? We've been hitting a lot of the back, kind of up into the shoulder blade, all that kind of stuff. But again, we need to remember that this system kind of comes around into our front. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our handy dandy foam roller. I like having a foam roller that has this texture, these kind of grippy guys. That just allows for a little better surface contact. But if you just have the normal cylinder, that's totally fine. Any foam roller. What we're going to do is getting into the serratus, the muscle that stabilizes our shoulder blade, and also our lat, one of our big arm muscles, our shoulder muscles, is going to be really important for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come straight down onto the side. I'm not worried about, oh, am I rotated more forward or back at this point? I just want to start to desensitize my ribs even to this little bit of pressure. Because ultimately, we're going to be getting into some bigger moves as we kind of go through this. So I'm just taking my time, breathing it out, right? Getting this nervous system that's associated with my whole shoulder blade and ribs to be able to cooperate with the mobility drills that we're about to do. So, as you can see, we're starting to roll some of these out, right? Again, just going straight up and down. I'm not doing anything crazy at this point, just so we can start to work into some things. Once you feel that you're appropriately ready, you can start to work on some stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to think about rotating my body either forward or backwards. At this point, I am trying to rotate backwards, almost like I was going to turn all the way back in this way. But what that's doing is that's grabbing the tissue, pulling it taut, and with that tightness, I'm going to work on my breathing. Again, as we work with these ribs, the rib's main job is to encapsulate and protect the respiratory system. So we need to really enact and work on that respiratory system as we kind of go through this. Getting those tissues to go from this really tight, rigid structure to more malleable after we do all these mobilizations. Great time to do some overhead work. Great time to do some stabilization work. We've worked on the back for a decent amount. Now I'm going to come forward. So I want to imagine grabbing all of these tissues, almost like I was dragging it through the mud, pulling a lot of tightness through there. Getting some breath. You might be hooking some of that pec in there, totally fine. You might be getting a little bit more of that serratus, a little bit more in the front here, totally fine. You can get even down into the far edge of that lat. Again, all with breath, all totally fine. The only things that I would watch out for, being in this shoulder position for any extended period of time, may cause some numbness, tingling, weakness, some weird sensations in the arm. Totally fine, just dismount, give yourself a moment, shake it out, right? You're not going to do yourself any irreparable harm going through this, but working off of taking the tissue one way, working up and down, taking the tissue the other way, working up and down, that'll be a really great way to start to get these tissues in and around the sides and front of the ribs to start to kind of melt away, relax, so that we can get into these really good positions as we start to work on shoulder stability and thoracic stability. We want to do that for about 2 minutes, once or twice a day, right? And as we've kind of gone through this, right, it seems like, oh, I got to do this and this and this and this. You don't have to do all these drills all the time, right? As you start to become more aware of your body with doing all these mobility drills, you'll start to go, okay, I feel tight more in the top of the shoulder. Let's work on that. Oh, I feel more tight in the sides of the ribs, the lats, the serratus, all that kind of stuff. So use them as needed. As we kind of start up going through the whole ribs reset program though, please make sure that you're hitting at least these once or twice just to get a feel for them, okay? Well, play around with that. Let us know any questions, comments, concerns. We'll see you in the next one.